Welcome to the Charleston Marketing Podcast, powered by the Charleston American Marketing Association and broadcasting from our home at Charleston Radio Group. Thanks to CRG, we're able to talk with the movers and shakers of Charleston, from economy to art, from hospitality to tech, and everything in between. These leaders have made a home here in the Lowcountry. They live here, they work here, they make change here. Why? Let's talk about it.
Hello and welcome to the Charleston Marketing Podcast, powered by the Charleston American Marketing Association. We're recording here in the Charleston Radio Group studios. Big supporters of McKinney. Got to give a shout out to the Charleston's favorite DJ Jerry Feels Good with the beats at the beginning. And thanks to all of our supporters. Mike Compton here, president of Roombo Advertising, GoRoombo.com, and your incoming president for CAMA, Charleston American Marketing Association. Thanks for joining us. I'm here with Stephanie. Stephanie, say hello.
Hi, guys. What's up? I am Stephanie Barrow. I am the founder of Stephanie Barrow Consulting, a digital strategy agency located here in Charleston, and I am your CAMA past president. We are very excited to be here with our very special guest, Blair Primis.
Hey, Blair, what's going on?
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
So this is really awkward because I forgot to hit record. So this is our beginning. This is our intro on our YouTube
Intro
page.
to the beginning.
Go to our wherever you find your podcast and get
to listen to the whole spiel.
And we'll go into our whatever we were talking about when I hit record.
Yes. All right, there you go.
It's great to talk to you guys, and I can't wait to hear what our conversation's about.
Oh yeah, same. We'll go back inside. It's awesome. I'm going through all these classes through Google right now to get Google Ad certified and all these things. And
good for you.
And it's just
good for you.
Another feather in the cap because the world is just changing.
Yeah, Kristen Norwood, who's my marketing manager, and I have spent a lot of time trying to study and understand SGE for healthcare as well too, and schema and metadata and all the things you're trying to do with your H1 and H3 tags and all that kind of stuff. While super relevant and you can get nerdy on, like with the flip of a switch, it just now becomes not irrelevant, but really a low-ranking measure for how they're going to serve it because they want to find unique levels of content that have themes across what the user is searching for. Gemini crawls the web. They find it, and then if you guys go into Google now and turn on your Labs button,
haven't done that yet. Yeah.
If you turn on Labs, you'll see this. You'll see all the search engine results that you would normally have seen for either paid, right, and then stacked the organic below it. Now it's Google's answer. And it's their answer based on what Google is searching.
If you're not really diving deep into Google for your marketing,
you'll be behind.
It's almost as important as AI marketing.
You'll be behind.
This is kind of the future. So
you'll be behind.
Especially
if you're in a search-based business. If you're in something that is, if you're not in an evergreen platform or you're in something that is episodic, which a lot of healthcare is. It's really important to understand what role that plays. And so we've been experimenting lately with actually flipping the script and actually now, I wouldn't dare say abandon, but we haven't prioritized organic to the degree that we are prioritizing paid.
I know. Yeah. It's big.
Which as a marketer, you never would have said 3 years
5
ago.
years.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, like 2 years ago.
It's completely changed.
Yeah, you would never say that. You'd be like, well, get your organic in order. Get your organic in order. Don't pay for ads until 6 months. Get your SEO ready to rock. Like, get all your measures in place, your site health, your site audit, get all this stuff figured out. Now I'm like, yeah, we'll do that, but like, we're going to start ads right now.
One of my favorite things about marketing is that you're constantly learning or you're going to become a dinosaur, right? As long as you know the new, you don't have to be the youngest kid in the block, but you got to know the new. You have to be excellent at it. And so I love that you said that because I know you're probably really utilizing Google My Business for the reviews and that kind of thing, and the posts and the offerings. And
we manage it almost daily.
Yep.
Like it's a daily task. And like I said, my teammate Kristen is way more knowledgeable than I am on it, but we have a massive dashboard. We use a third party to manage it all. We can see every single Google My Business page, every single review, 105 different listing pages beyond just Google, but we can post to it. We can have content distribution on there.
Can I ask which platform you use?
It's Bird Eye.
I like Bird Eye.
We use Bird Eye. It's been great. It's been great. And I think it's certainly important for healthcare. And my gut tells me anything that has a location really should be maximizing these pages. It might actually be close to the first thing you need to do. You clearly need a website or something to give you SEO, right? However, it's like maybe like 1A is really got to optimize.
I feel like website and then Google and then social media. Social media is becoming irrelevant. Not irrelevant. It's trending towards trends, cool, like that kind of stuff. But for a day-to-day business, you have to show tips and tricks probably for what you do. You probably create a lot of medical reels and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But as a whole, like, depending on your business, it's website, it's Google.
And that's a generational thing, right? This would be a whole nother great conversation we could have on marketing is around like the generational shifts, whereas,
your demos, I mean,
our demos are typically older. Yeah, they'll skew older for
not
sure.
on TikTok, I'm sure.
Correct. Now there's some of that. Some of the med spa stuff we do, or some of the injections and things that we will do from the cosmetics perspective. There is some of that.
A lot of before and afters, I bet.
Some of that, a ton. Some of that is certainly in TikTok. But I just saw, and I guess you guys follow eMarketer at all?
Yeah.
But I just saw that.
eMarketer is a great resource, right?
Great resource.
eMarketer, look it up,
great resource. Yeah, they're awesome. And there's short, sweet like newsletters and great graphics. Like it's really quick, concise knowledge set. Yeah, digestible, better word. And I just saw that Gen Z and millennials now search on TikTok and Instagram more than they do Google.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah. We're constantly Instagramming.
I'm on TikTok.
Companies.
I was
searching.
What are they like?
I got a new face cream yesterday from France because I saw some
Oh my
TikTok.
gosh, there you go.
It was like A1 something.
There it is.
Like it's vitamin A for free. I was like, the French women look great. Send that to my house.
There it is.
Are you watching the Olympics right now?
I am watching.
Are there a ton of that?
I'm watching on TikTok. I don't have time to watch it.
Timely. Very on theme.
Oh my gosh, you're funny.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Talk about, man, there's so much to talk about. But talk about Forbes and your relationship and what goes on there. Because Forbes is like, can you give me what Forbes is?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So obviously there's Forbes magazine, like the actual business entity. And then they have a massive amounts of digital products that sort of live underneath that. And one of the things that they have done is they've created these councils, which are a cohort of application-based leaders. And, I hate referring to, myself as an expert or guru or something like that, but like thought leaders.
Yeah. No, I love it.
You apply and you get accepted. And then you kind of have a loose requirement to submit and publish content based on the reason why you were accepted. And so I'm a part of, really, really flattering to be a part of the Communications Council. And so I work alongside our public relations team and our content team in my office and just think through what I've done in my career and how we've set up teams and how I think about, my organizational stack of experts and how important it is to pivot and things. And out of that just comes theories and ideas and thoughts, and they just form themselves into articles for Forbes. And so you submit them. They go through an editorial process through the Forbes Editorial Council. They edit them, sometimes tweak them. And then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, well.
I guess that's what I meant.
Or sometimes I'm like, now you're not. Now the integrity of my piece has changed. And so let's try again. And so you go through a process. And so I've been very lucky to have maybe 2 or 3 pieces
published. And they
published.
live on Forbes.com?
They live on Forbes.com. And then on they use their social channels and their email channels to the other Forbes Council members as well to promote it. But then there was also a Forbes Communications Council portal where other members in the council can communicate with one another inside that. So we can ask questions back and forth. I have like people I have met, obviously digitally because I don't.
So it's almost like a Slack channel.
Or a
it's
think
kind
tank.
of it's kind of like a Slack channel for like communicators and marketers where we can ask questions. And sometimes you'll publish your article, there'll be questions about it, and they'll hit you in the portal and say like, "Hey, saw your piece about this. Why did you decide to hire a content social media person and not divide it into 2? That's really interesting. I'd love to talk to you more about that." And all of a sudden you're communicating, whether it's on LinkedIn or Teams message or email, about a decision you made and an article you wrote that you met through a community, which is.
Have you ever met anybody in person?
I have 2. Yeah, 2 folks I have actually met in person. They ironically both happen to be in Charlotte. One is at Ally Bank, and the other one is at. I'm gonna space on the company now, and I apologize, but it'll come to me.
Yeah, Green.
It'll come to me. It'll come to me. You occasionally will meet them in real life. But
cool.
But it's interesting. It's like its own little community. So like it's a multi-level digital product. Yes, very much so. Very much so. Yeah.
That's interesting because locally we have Forbes books.
Yes.
Yeah, Forbes books. Yeah, I know those guys too.
They win a lot of Spark Awards, by the way.
Yeah.
Plug in the Spark right
there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
They too.
Yeah.
Trying to get them on. I had a good meeting with them not too long ago.
Oh,
trying to get them on.
Trying to get them on.
Nice, good. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, that'd be great.
They're hustling.
Yeah,
they are hustling.
Yeah,
they got some great.
It's a nice
ideas
Forbes has done a nice job kind of diversifying their product beyond being print media, right?
Which is
a problem, which as we know is not a growth.
Why I
industry.
ask what's going on with
Yeah.
Forbes? There's so much.
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
Yes, no doubt.
You have a lot of hats.
Yes.
You have a lot of things going on simultaneously.
I do.
So how many boards are you currently on?
Well, so let me see here. So
he's busy. He's a busy man.
5, I think.
Wow.
5. Yeah. Currently, I think 5. Yeah. And interestingly enough,
not laughing at
my
you.
fantastic,
You,
yeah.
right?
My partner in crime, my wife is the executive director of her own charity. So while I'm technically not on her board, just by being in the same home, we talk a lot about about what she does.
What is it?
Like,
what is it? What is
power
it? Let's
couple
do
vibes.
a little shout out to the wife. What
So Erin Santos is her name. She is the executive director of the Isabella Santos Foundation, which raises money for rare pediatric cancer research. Sadly, her oldest child passed away.
Shut the
from.
He's got eyes coming out of his heart's coming out of his
my 8-year-old just got diagnosed 2 years ago. He's at the tail end of lymphoma.
Oh my gosh. Okay, but in recovery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, congratulations. That's
Thank
great.
you.
Good.
Thank
Yes. Well, her daughter unfortunately didn't survive.
How old was she?
7 or 8 years
okay.
old.
God.
Yeah. She died of neuroblastoma.
Okay.
And she left her job. She was working at Lending Tree, left her job, and became the executive director of a pediatric cancer charity. And has been doing it for 17 years.
Oh my gosh.
And what's really cool about
She's
this
my
is they are working hard to actually expand her program from Charlotte, which is at Levine Children's Hospital, to MUSC.
No.
That'd be great.
They want to try to do it here as well, too.
We know a lot of people at MUSC.
We do. Well, Charleston Radio Group does a telethon for MUSC.
Awesome.
MUSC
Super cool.
How much money did we raise this year, Brian? How much? 200,000 plus, something like that? 270
nice.
plus.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Telethon,
so they're expanding, like to talk a bit about ISF.
What a terrible club to be a part of.
Yeah. Talk to ISF. Yeah. But she, she's a special lady because she is able to advocate for people that it doesn't help her at all.
Mm-hmm. No, not anymore.
Right. And so it's a special thing to have for 17 years, kind of have your hand out and say, please help us raise money for a thing that maybe in my lifetime we won't be able to fix, but somebody will benefit from this.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're expanding, they're growing. So like she got to a point, I think, in her career where she was at a crossroads and trying to decide what's next. And in many cases, you decide, right, either we are going to go down this path of let me slow down, let me pass the torch, let me do something different with my life, or I'm going to double down and grow. Right. And that's what she decided to do.
Awesome.
So they're expanding her rare and solid tumor program out of Charlotte and into other markets. So Duke, Chapel Hill, ECU, Greenville, and Charleston.
Do you know how many children you've helped?
Oh my gosh. She's going to kill me that I don't know the answer to this.
No.
But I'm going to say several hundred to thousands. But really, it's about the future of what the research will provide. Because, and I only know this because I hang out with her, but the irony of this
when you're lucky
is that lymphoma and even leukemia lymphoma, for example, because it is ironically has a higher cure rate, it gets funded more because they can see success. If you get my point.
I do.
High failure rate cancers like neuroblastoma, Ewing sarcoma, glioblastoma, some of these others, which have 30, 20, 25, 40% survival rates, it's hard to fund them because they are not successful. So you have this chicken and egg scenario where if you don't provide the funding, they can't do the research to raise the level of success. And so she is very much an advocate for literally focusing on just rare and solid tumors. So it's a very narrow ask. But to say that 15, 16, 17 years ago, she raised $10,000 and today they raise close to $3 million.
Nice.
Is really quite a testament to her and her team and her vision and just her fortitude. She's a tough lady, and I think by default kind of has to be. I get to see the moments where she isn't always as tough. Sure. And it's tender and sweet, but she gets up there and rails on why you need to do this.
That's amazing. Love it.
And it's pretty cool. Yeah. Anyway,
the kind of person you need.
Isabella Santos Foundation.org. So
I'm going to follow her.
What was that? How do you get? What was it? What?
Isabella Santos Foundation.org. Yeah. Yep.
Got it. We're gonna look that up.
Yep.
We're gonna give. Charlotte is creative.
Yes. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. So, we have a chapter of Creative Mornings. We were talking about this in the green room.
You do so well, Creative Mornings.
I do love. Have you been to Creative Mornings?
I have been. I want to go to next week. There's
my
one,
God.
Coming up in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
it is. Go with you.
Yeah, so we have a chapter of Creative Mornings, and two. Actually, this is such a great Charlotte story. So 2 guys, Matt Olin and Tim Miner, who grew up in Charlotte together, went to Chapel Hill together, have known each other since they were young. Got the application for our local Creative Mornings and became the rights holder. I'm not sure what you call it of our chapter of Creative Mornings. Sure. And out of that, they left their day jobs and created a nonprofit called Charlotte is Creative that is designed to advocate for artists, broad term here, artists in Charlotte, to get them paid for the work that they do. So this is fine art, spoken word, music, street painting, tattoo.
So they have
Charlotte is Creative.
.org?
I believe so. Yeah,
okay.
.org or .com.
They act like an agency type of thing?
They're essentially an advocacy group. They raise money. They have several programs. They do a Creative Entrepreneurs Initiative where applicants come to CIC, Charlotte is Creative, and apply to be a part of their programming.
This is so cool.
Where they provide programming. Yeah, it's really a remarkable
workspace.
Grants. They do a thing called Hugs, which are called Helpful Unfettered Gift, where you give somebody $250, $500, or $1,000 to just get your idea off the ground.
Whoa.
Hey, you know what I need? I need a new laptop for my business. Well, here you go. Here's $1,000. Go buy one.
Wow.
Hey, I need a new set of paints. I need to be able to I need rent for a studio to do my artwork. And we help kickstart this and get it going.
That's cool.
And there's 2 really things that I think so I happen to be on the board there. I've known those guys for a long time. I'm flattered to be a part of what they're trying to accomplish. 2 things about Charlotte is Creative real quick that I will say that I think is special is Charlotte is just the right size market with just at the right time with the right growth that an organization like this can actually help us be known as. If you are a creative, love Charleston, but if you are a creative, we want you to think about Charlotte as a place to come live.
Of course.
Because we're not just a banking city, or we're not just where the Panthers are, or we're not just an energy town. Like NASCAR. We're actually a place where creatives should find a home. So what's beautiful about this is that they're actually walking the walk. It's very easy to be like, come check us out because we have this vibe.
Yes.
You have to kind of prove it.
Shoot.
Right? I would say the same. Charleston is food and drink town, and they walk the walk.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally some of the best stuff. And so they could market that, right? So if we want to market ourselves as a creative destination, we have to have the infrastructure to actually deliver on it. So that's my stump speech on why I love it.
I have
exactly
some
what
friends
we wanted
that
to
move
do.
from this
it's
area
really great.
to Charlotte, and they're in the marketing industry, but they're not fine art artists. Do you still need people to come help and volunteer?
Absolutely, always help and volunteer. And I'm not ironically I love to play creative director, but I am a really bad creative. I mean, I am terrible in that space, but yet I love advocating for the creative thought and marketers and designers and communicators, those that can write and tell a story. They are artists in every stretch of the imagination, just as much as somebody that plays guitar or paints a canvas,
Really cool.
And so it's spectacular. And so they've created this wonderful ecosystem of professionals and fundraising and support, and it's incredible. They have programs almost every week where they're doing something all the time.
The next time I come to your city, I'm going to just pop in one of these just for the
it's really
just to feel inspired.
It's really just amazing.
I'm inspired just by hearing you put out their mission statement, because that's a very similar mission statement to AMA, where we're trying to build the infrastructure. But now when I say, oh, shoot, we got to walk the walk, you're right about food and hospitality.
Yeah, totally.
But we're trying to make this more of a marketing creative hub.
Yes.
Too.
We are.
Almost like Ernest did with the tech.
Yes.
With the tech corridor. And he's crushing it over there with his teams. So no, I love sharing ideas, and I think that's why part of this podcast and
brilliant.
You here
I love it.
Is how we can learn from Charlotte. Charlotte can learn from Charleston.
Absolutely.
I'm sure that's why we have so many listeners from Charlotte.
Charlotte, totally.
Right,
Charleston. Where am I saying? Where am I right now? But I just wanted to iterate the steel sharpens steel type of thing, where we can learn from you all can learn from us, and I think that really works.
Couldn't agree more.
Do we have a South Carolina Arts Council? We probably do.
I don't know. I'm sure that
I work with a lot of fine art artists here in Charleston. Who some of them are in the galleries in the Charlotte area. I'm gonna tell them. They just need to. This is so cool. What a creative and
I
cool
mean,
community.
Tim was a corporate marketer for many years. Lover of music. Matt is a musician and a copywriter, and wonderful creative in his own right. Mm-hmm. And the two of them are just the perfect pair to kind of bring this kind of idea together. Yeah. And I think Charlotte is kind of the right size. I would say Charleston the same. this would be hard to do in Chicago.
Yes.
Or LA or something. It would just be difficult to have a grassroots centered organization that has impact across the city.
Yep.
Right.
You could have microcosms of it in some of the bigger communities.
Correct.
My daughter who lives in New York now will go to the original Creative Mornings in Brooklyn occasionally.
Oh,
and
I didn't know
that's amazing.
True.
Like, it's amazing. I see the OG Creative Mornings.
I didn't know that. Okay.
But it's in Brooklyn.
Who cares? I love Brooklyn.
No, but what I mean is it's like it's in the portion of the city where the one spot where it is. And I love Creative Mornings, and Creative Mornings Brooklyn is Rockstar, but it's not the New York Creative Mornings. It's like the Brooklyn. We can do it in Charlotte and actually have impact across the city. In theory, similar in Charleston.
It's just, as a creative, you get so burnt out of your own ideas, especially if you're marketing the same thing year after year. It's so important to have some sort of community like this.
Well, it's a partnership that you're talking about with
partnership
the dudes that started it, right? You got to have a partner.
Yeah.
You can't just do it yourself.
Yep, it's really great.
It's hard.
Yep.
And so building the teams is where I found you in your article about your LinkedIn article about how putting together the marketing team and how to put together the right marketing team.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I think that's like the biggest kind of takeaway in this type of our podcast here is for marketers to learn how to build their team and when is it right to build your team,
how to go about doing it.
The whole thing.
Yeah. So interesting. And I never really thought about it until you're kind of forced with solving problems for an organization, realizing that you're in this spot of we have an agency or we don't have an agency, or do I need a teammate internally or don't I need a teammate internally? And then before you know it, I like I said, you kind of look back on your career and I'm like, well, look at this. I've actually now stood up and managed teams 3 or 4 times in my career. Maybe I actually have a little bit of a muscle memory on
25 years later.
Yes, I actually have some sense of how to go about thinking about it, at least. Not that my ideas are always the right ones. The history major. There you go. The history major. Yes. I find, especially in creatives, right, that the first thing I would like to do is I hire for mindset and not skill set.
Sure.
And so what I'll say is we need to fit as a team. We need to complement one another's way of thinking, not to belittle the skills of the teammates that we work with and our partners and things. But if you're applying for a job to be social media manager, my assumption is you know how to do it. Mm-hmm. So I now just want to make sure we get along and that we can communicate well and that we're collaborative and compatible. And I will interview for those, as opposed to being show me your portfolio of stuff. Of course, I want to see your work. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, it's really secondary to the mindset of it. So I would always just start by saying, if you're entertaining the idea of adding a team member or building a team or creating a team, and there are gobs of tools that you can use for this. Enneagram, Myers-Briggs, Big Five, Strength Finder, DISC. There are a number of free 99 tests that you could have your teammates complete one yourself, and then compare the two, and make sure that you're compatible. You are a thinker and you are a motivator, so you need somebody that is detailed and data driven. Okay. You don't need another maybe thinker and motivator. Now all of a sudden you're both up here and no one's doing the thing, right? Right? Or nobody spell checks you, or actually can the details of this random vision you have, and so. I'm the big fan of thinking through how you do that. Then I think once you have that in place, I just straightforward try to hire the single best talent I can in that market. And it is, I don't care how old you are. I don't care, candidly, in some cases now, where you live. It's great that we can see one another and be together, but with hybrid work and technology today, hey man, you're in Chicago? Cool. Great. Let's do it.
Right. Trust you're going to get the work done. You're going to get the one right.
Accountability rules, right? Yeah. I trust you until I have a reason not to.
Exactly.
Right. If I don't, then we'll talk about it. Otherwise, go get your work done where you get your work done. So I have a teammate that's here in Charleston. I have a teammate that's in Nashville, and I have teammates in Greenville and Richmond, and we're headquartered in South Charlotte. or south end of Charlotte, I should say. We're in South End. And I just think you just go and you find the best talent you possibly can. And so if you know that's a cultural and mindset fit, you've already now narrowed your search down to some degree, and you go and you fill in those spaces. Mm-hmm. And then I sort of thirdly think about really what are those disciplines that you might necessarily need to add, and what order do you need to add it. If you're really high design intense team, like hire a graphic designer first.
Right.
Which is actually what I did. My first hire was ironically a designer. We had 7 or 8 brands with all different pieces of collateral, with all different looking logos. Mm-hmm. Some of them didn't have Pantone colors. It was like straight up like Microsoft Paint and like junk. And so we just had to, no disrespect to their original creators,
they got it done.
But hey, man, it was like not scalable at all. So we had to have a designer come and help us do that work. And then we moved into finding some additional teammates for our field team, being on the ground. Then we moved to a marketing manager, then content, then social, and then here's where we are today.
So so you have 10 people right now. How
10
big
people
do you want to grow your team to be?
It really depends on how we scale as a company. If our platform continues to affiliate with more groups, we will face a growth challenge where we will just be everyone will be at bandwidth. And if they're at bandwidth, our capacity is limited. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we will just have to decipher what the next step is. I'm a huge fan of using 10-hour, 15-hour a week teammates to fulfill projects and support. And I love
that's an interesting business model.
When I love thinking of them as candidly like an interview. Like if you're going to come work with me for a month for 10 hours a week on a long form content project, do a deep dive on a patient experience or some sort of patient success story and show me your work. Now you've just done like a 40-hour interview, which is really great. So the minute we do have to expand our team or increase our bandwidth and capacity in some way, you would likely be.
That's nice.
You would likely be the teammate we would go to.
That was my next question: is where's your pool of candidates that you're going from? But you're building your own.
Yeah. So I spent a lot of time. I know a lot of people in the market, and I'm certainly getting older, and so there's more I don't know now than I used to. But I have a pretty good network of people, and I will reach out to others for recommendations. Hey, do you know a really great social media team? You know a really good designer, but it's just people sometimes that you meet, and then you find that mindset match up. And so my designer I just met, she was on our business prior to me getting there, and we just hired her full time. My content and social person, I no joke met at a Carolina Panthers game.
And just sitting beside you,
she just happened to be
hot dog?
She happened to be interested in marketing, and I was interested. We started talking, and one thing led to another, and I was like, if you're looking for a job, she's like, ironically, a couple weeks later, she's like, I am looking for a job, and she got hired. That's it. So
because you're passionate about what you do,
yeah,
you kind of share your
exactly.
What you do
you're putting yourself out there, building those relationships.
Yeah. And then there's a lot of recruiting firms, and staffing agencies that we try to partner with and use when we need it.
You started off with how many brands?
We started off with really two founding kind of brands.
Circa.
Really January of 22, basically.
Okay.
And we're now up to essentially 10. We have consolidated some of those names. Just for geography purposes, but we have 6 brands today, but really 10 affiliations.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You get a full house.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Very busy. Very busy.
What's cool, too, is I always say, as an advertiser, we're not saving lives. We're not really changing lives. We're not saving lives. But you guys are. Because I've worked with agencies or people like practices like yourself, and me myself, I wear braces, just on the small, and it changes your life.
You don't have them on today, do you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. But it completely changes your mood, right? So you're changing lives.
Changing lives
because they can smile now without even kind of like thinking about it.
It's really incredible.
It's crazy because I never thought like my teeth would be like, affecting my mood, but apparently it was.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
I don't know how much more confident I could have been, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. No. That's So I will tell you that until I've been in healthcare a long time, and until I made the switch from the medical side of healthcare over to the dental side of healthcare, I never really understood that either.
Right.
I never really thought about it as something that is so transformative in people's lives. But it really is. And what's fascinating about it is if if anybody ever needs surgery and unfortunately requires, a surgeon's assistance, it's all very important, clearly. But, other things where you can wear a piece of clothing, or you can hide a scar, or you can manage a bandage of some kind. If it's up in your grill, it is just for everybody to see, and is incredibly, the human condition just struggles with that in some way. And as I've gotten to know our surgeons and our prosthodontists and the patients that they take care of, I cannot tell you how transformative this is in people's lives. And we have a product that I was mentioning before that's called Envision, Envision Dental Implants, and it is a full arch solution for patients where we essentially just replace all of your teeth, do jaw surgery, realign them, put anchors in, and we then build you new teeth. Full life transformation. People that couldn't eat steak. People that had never been on
my gosh, that was it.
People that had never been on a date.
So if I want
people that have never done
a date.
They've never been on a date. They can't get a job. They struggle to have an interview.
Pull our strings over there.
I mean, like all of these things where they can't do in life simply because of what you just described. They may not have realized there's another thing out there for them. I like to describe them. You'll love this. It's such a marketer phrase, right? They are problem aware, solution unaware.
Right.
And so, like, if we could introduce a solution to them, this is some of what we have to offer. And interestingly enough, the practice and the service that we offer is a really high quality, high-end product that we offer that lasts a lifetime. It's a lifetime solution.
Now, are you telling these stories through video? And if so, how can I watch these at home tonight by myself and have a good cry? Yes.
So, like, this is going to be such a selfless plug. But EnvisionDentalImplants.com is our brand. And we've got 25 or 30 videos on our YouTube channel where you can see this. And we're literally talking about now we're doing a lot of like SEM. We had to get ourselves in order here, right? You guys know this intimately. We had to build a website, stand up our social, get our content ready, do all that first. That took 4 to 6 months. Now we're in the process of actually going to market with it, right? So we started some SEM, and we're now investigating things like billboards and television, connected TV, sponsorships. We really need to, I like to think about marketing as like a vertical look down on a map. And SEM gets you those laser beam points, but there's lots of open space. So now you have to layer on audio, TV, sponsorship. So by the time you stand over and look down at it, the entire map is covered. So we're adding the layers now. The layers are coming in. So that's sort of our next phase. So we're excited to leverage some of those stories for that, because it's really about. You would be an ad, candidly. It changes people's lives.
We worked for a business similar to yours out west, and the interviews that we did were amazing. And he was an older gentleman, like he's probably in his 70s, and he's still life changing. This big smile. He's like, I can smile every day now.
It's amazing.
Eat steak, a whole thing.
It's incredible.
So it is incredible. So good work.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'm just the storyteller. It's the surgeons
between
and
you and your wife. You're touching a lot of heartstrings.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I'm just like you. I'm just the marketing guy. Like, it's the doctors and the surgeons that do this amazing.
Yeah, but you're choosing to put your time into something that really matters.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that.
That's huge.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm along for the ride. We, I've been very lucky in my career to. And again, this is not hyperbole. This is fact. It's a little known secret about Charlotte that maybe we all should shout more of. There are world-class surgeons in Charlotte, North Carolina, orthopedists and GI doctors and urologists, and now I know oral surgeons. I mean, we have some of the foremost knowledgeable oral surgeons in the United States in Charlotte, North Carolina, and you wouldn't openly think about that. And I think one of the things we have to do is do a better job educating consumers as to why oral surgery matters in their lives. They just don't think about it all that often. It's so episodic. We take our 14, 15, 16-year-old kids to get their wisdom tooth popped out, and then sometimes you never think about an oral surgeon ever again. But the idea that these broad scope surgeries, somebody that deals with headaches and jaw pain because they have TMJ, we can fix that. Non-surgically too. Sleep apnea. If you adjust your jaw, it helps you sleep better. And you wouldn't normally think about that.
I didn't know that.
Right, because you're opening your airway and now you sleep better.
I have a friend who gets Botox injunctions in her jaw because for TMJ.
Yeah,
what is TMJ?
It is essentially like I'm going to botch the phrase, temporomandibular disorder, joint disorder.
Oh, okay.
It is like it's just a a condition. It's a condition that ultimately winds up in this area where we can do joint replacements. We'll actually replace the two joints to have a surgical solution for it. And our surgeons offer all of that expertise.
Some of that can affect your hearing and everything, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's really phenomenal how connected it all is. The way I like to think about it is really, with the exception essentially of like your actual eyes and maybe brain surgery, an oral maxillofacial surgeon can do anything up in this area. Sinus, nose, ears, underneath jaw, teeth, bite, bone. I have been pleasantly blown away by the level of skill and acumen that our surgeons have, that, like I said, before being really involved in the dental world, I don't know that I had a healthy enough respect for the level of skill that they have. These are 10, 12, 13 years of training to do this work. It's spectacular.
That's great.
It's great.
Good.
That's
it's
so
great.
Cool.
Doing big things up in Charlotte.
Yeah.
I will be watching those videos tonight.
Please. Yeah.
With the box.
Please
of
do
tissues,
so.
apparently.
Please do so.
That's awesome.
I love your marketing opinion on them as well too. So send me thoughts and ideas.
Oh, sure. I got your email now, Blair. Charleston, is there any growth, any kind of ideas in future? You said you had a couple of meetings today.
Yeah.
What's the growth looking like?
Yeah, absolutely.
AI
We're always looking to grow and always looking to add partners to our platform. It really just depends upon how interested the oral surgeon is being a part of our platform and how much our team is interested in partnering with them. Good. So we're always looking to grow and expand. Yep. Charleston is certainly an area that we're interested in. We're in Columbia, we're in Greenville, we're in all the areas around Clemson and Spartanburg, and so logically, Charleston is seemingly next destination.
Well, we're looking forward to having you.
Yeah.
You have to let us know next time you're in. I'd love to meet your wife. She sounds like a remarkable person.
Yes. My guess is we'll be back in a weekend very, very near. Very
good.
soon.
Perfect.
Well, yeah, so you can't stay away from Charleston.
No, it's too tough.
I can't stay away from Charlotte. I go there quite often.
Yeah.
I'll be there in August for the Imagine Dragon concert.
Oh, that's right. You were telling me. Yeah, that's phenomenal.
Nice.
Yep.
That's phenomenal. Yeah. We come
Amelie's favorite band. I'm pulling her out of school. Thank you, Principal Henderson.
Yes.
Pulling her out of school. We have VIP tickets.
Oh, amazing.
To do Imagine Dragons.
That'll be great.
That'll
be really great. Yeah. Yeah, we're here almost once a month. No joke. My wife and I absolutely love it. And spend a ton of time here. So I'm sure we'll be happy to get together again.
Hang out. I love it.
Yeah, please.
We'll do it again. Thank you for your time.
Oh, my pleasure. No, this was great.
This has been fun.
Thank
Awesome.
you. Yeah.
Awesome. And the travel here, the 3-hour drive.
Oh, gosh.
Lord.
No, it's all good.
Before we leave, we need to thank our sponsors, the Charleston Radio Group Studios, Jerry Feels Good, and the American Marketing Association. If you want to be a sponsor of our guests, or if you want to be a sponsor or a guest, thank you, reach out to podcast at charlestonama.org. I'm assuming that email works. Are you getting emails from there?
Okay.
No. we get a lot more DMs. Just FYI.
Oh, okay, that works.
We get a lot of DMs saying, "Hey, we'd like to be on the podcast."
Where can they find us, Steph?
You can find us at Charleston AMA on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, and of course, you can find us on YouTube, Buzzsprout, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere basically you listen to your podcast. That's where you can find us.
What a pleasure, Blair.
Yeah.
Same.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you guys very much. Yeah.
Make sure we do this again.
Yeah. I'd love to.
And I can't wait to visit Charlotte too. I hear there's a bunch of great people up there.
Please. Yeah. If you're ever in town, let me know.
I'm going to come to one of these creative.
Please do before you head and let me know, and we'll meet up.
Tell you I'm coming.
We'll meet up.
We'll find out when
that sounds like my jam.
That'll be great. Yes. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks, Charleston. See you next time.
Bye.